Some new apartments require renters to Use Amazon smart home devices. A group called the Amazon Smart Properties team is working with property managers to equip new buildings with Alexa smart speakers.
Some are concerned that the move is a way to get more data from people who are not necessarily Amazon users. So joining me now is the author of a piece in this Wall Street Journal. It's a piece from the Wall Street Journal, technology columnist Christopher Mims. So I got to admit, Christopher, when I first started reading about these apartments that you're describing, I thought to myself, this is the kind of apartment that I would want to have. It seems like it's everything you want. It's got a smart lock and, speakers or whatever. But then as I start to read your article, I realize how unbelievably scary it could be. So explain what the initiative is and what's the goal.
So the initiative is really to get Amazon Alexa devices into as many apartments, multifamily units, hospitals, retirement homes, hotels as possible. So that's what Amazon Smart Properties Unit is doing in conjunction with a bunch of builders and property owners. And, the goals are different. If you're a property manager, you want to do this because it might actually save you on costs in terms of dealing with your tenants. It's also a draw for tenants because you get all these integrated smart home things like smart locks and smart thermostats that people really like. And then for Amazon, it's all about market dominance as usual.
Yeah, it sounds very Orwellian to me. It doesn't sound at all appealing because at the end of the day, what Amazon is all about is, getting you to spend money with them and understanding what your needs are so that they can offer you those solutions by getting you to spend more money. So what are some of the other concerns besides the ones I just listed there?
Yeah, one concern is that anytime you have a smart home, there's other layers of integration where even if your property manager, let's say, doesn't have access to every query you make to Alexa or an Echo device, they get other kinds of data on you. They might know when you're home. They might know what you're setting your thermostat at. And certainly they have some control over that, right? Because they have kind of the master switches for that. Beyond that, a lot of people are moving into apartments where they might not have considered the privacy implications of giving all their data to Amazon, much less these third parties. So we also know that Amazon, in order to evaluate the quality of queries, does listen to a small number of those recordings in order to, they say, to improve the artificial intelligence, which is answering those questions. So as this expands, I think inevitably you get into a Facebook-like situation where who knows what will happen if there will ever be a data breach.
Yeah, the article talks about, you mentioned third parties, the possibility of being able to say to Alexa, hey, pay my rent for me now. Or, there's something wrong with the fridge. Get somebody up here and...
Or you could just pick up the phone.
Yeah, but it's so much more convenient to go, hey, Amazon, there's something wrong with the fridge. Can you tell my landlord? And the landlord has access to your locks because it's a smartphone, so they can just sort of press something.
I need a locksmith. Thank you.
You can't see Vlad right now. But you realize how, bit by bit by bit, by making life just a little more convenient, you're handing over even more of yourself, not just to the landlord, but to the third party, to Amazon, goes on and on. But one of the sort of benefits of this, an apartment like this, as you mentioned, is that it's sort of hardwired already. You don't have to buy all this extra stuff because this extra stuff can be expensive if that's the kind of home you want to live in. So will these apartments be pricier, and who are they marketed towards?
So certainly some of these apartments are pricier are the luxury models. Surprisingly, a lot of them are what's known as workforce housing. So it's aimed at people who are renters by necessity. They're making between $50,000 and $70,000 a year. And part of what's going on here is that this stuff is not that expensive anymore. You can put an Echo Dot in a home for $50. You put in like a hub that connects that to the internet, and another $100. I've had some of the property managers tell me it's between $300 and $500 all in to outfit an apartment like this. That's including the smart locks and the smart thermostat. So I think that it is inexpensive enough now that if they can realize a savings because there are fewer requests of the property manager, maybe they can turn off the heat or the cooling when the apartment's not occupied. Those kinds of things can actually save them money. And if it, is stickier, if it keeps tenants around, then it can pay for itself.
Hey, Christopher, I'm curious because you mentioned that what Amazon wants is market share, and I have noticed that Amazon will like throw a Amazon Dot in with like all kinds of purchases, right? Like I bought with some of the security
Really? For
cameras,
free?
and they're like, "How about a Dot to go with that?" Right, and so it's clear that they're trying to sort of own you. Even if you haven't considered an Amazon Dot, we don't even use it, but they're trying to sort of get in there on the ground level. I'm just curious if you know what their market share is. Are they winning this competition?
So they're 60% of the speaker market, smart speaker market, I think globally. And Google is, I believe, around 20-25%. So they're already dominant, and I think 1 in 4 U.S. adults has some kind of smart speaker in their home. So they're getting pretty ubiquitous. They're going to get way more ubiquitous because they don't care about making a profit on these devices. I mean, what they told me was they are just endpoints. What they want is to get you using the Alexa service as your default way for interacting with the internet and with your home through voice. So they're putting it in headphones. It's going to be in your car, and if it comes pre-installed in all these buildings that you walk into, what they want to give you is that continuous experience, no matter where you are. Indoors or maybe eventually even out. They've talked about putting it in stadiums. You just kind of shout into the void, "Alexa, fulfill my wishes."
Oh my gosh, shout into the void.
Yikes. Christopher Mims, I urge our viewers to check out your piece in the Wall Street Journal. Thank you so much.
Thank you.